this week's chapter of Bleach, Zero Division finally decides to go all out against the Quincy army. In last week's chapter, we saw that Senjomaru was seemingly killed by that lower-level member of the Quincy by having her head blown off by his massive sniper rifle. However, we all knew that she probably wasn't going to be taken out that easily, and this was all a part of her plan. In fact, they've actually been fighting in this massive illusion that was created by them. And that's suddenly when the other members of Zero Division appear out of nowhere to finally decide to start kicking some ass. Not only do we get to see the return of Kiryu, but we also get to see the return of Namaya Oetsu, the forger of Zanpakuto himself, at the very end of this week's chapter. But one of the most exciting things here is just the abilities they use. First, Senjomaru gets up, everything in the castle area starts to contort and change, and you can see that the real Soul Palace is actually in a completely different location. Suddenly, Kiryu appears out of nowhere, flying out of the sky, and uses one of her abilities, which is known as the Tree of Life, or the Cage of Life, where she creates this massive tree which wraps around the Quincy, and they can't break out of it no matter what they do. It's when Namaya Oetsu finally shows up at the end of the chapter and reaffirms them that the battle is really just getting started with Zero Division, and they're going to start taking things a little more seriously. It was a very simple chapter, but it had a lot of great moments, and it had some great character artwork. First up is that sniper guy. He definitely, I don't think he realizes what he's getting himself into. I appreciate the fact that the character has a lot of confidence, especially when he gets caught by that cage. He decides to just start shooting all over the place, trying to figure out a weakness to get out of there, but it still doesn't work. And Zero Division is just so lively, their personalities are just so bubbly and awesome, and I can't wait to see Namaya actually do something, because aside from the training that he did with Ichigo and helping him activate his real Zanpakuto and teaching him all that other stuff, we really haven't seen him in Battle White quite yet, and I still wanted to see Korinji Tenjiro do a little bit more. I still want him to show back up again and kick ass, because dude's got a pompadour and he's freaking awesome. But I did appreciate the fact that the other members are going to be working with each other, and they're still holding back on Ichibei, the big guy, the guy who has the prayer beads around his neck. I cannot wait to see this guy just go full on, because you know he's probably going to be one of the most physically strong members of Zero Division. He might even be on Kenpachi levels, although let's face it, Zero Division is on an entirely different level, and they still haven't shown what they're fully capable of quite yet. Otherwise, I was still kind of hoping we get to see a little bit more from the W. Sternwitter, Gerard Valkyrie, the guy who looks just like Thor. I was kind of hoping he'd do more this week aside from just playing on the sidelines, but I'm sure they're going to build it up in the coming chapters, because there's still a lot of developments in the final arc of Bleach. So, what's the rundown on this week's chapter? I really liked it. It was very simple. I read it really quick. But I liked a lot of elements of it. I love that all Zero Division is finally working together. That was all a trick. It's pretty obvious Senjomaru was not going to be killed by just getting shot in the head. That was very anticlimactic, and I just didn't imagine her ending that way. And it's good to see that this was all part of her plan while working with her team members. The artwork this week I thought was really good, especially when Kiryu came down and activated her big cage tree. I just thought that looked really cool, and I just couldn't help but think of Hashirama Senju from Naruto when I saw that. It just reminded me of that. And, you know, just, I'm excited to see Namaya go all out, because he's a very ominous character at the very end. I like how they cover him in shadow and make him look all ominous and ready to kick ass. I'm really excited for the coming chapters. This has been like a shot in the arm for getting me excited for some of the coming fights that's getting ready to happen in Bleach. So, great artwork, lots of action, a little bit of humor, and we finally got to see Senjomaru return from the dead and get a little help from her friends. So I'm going to give this week's chapter a 4 out of 5. Check it out, guys. You will not be disappointed. Thank you guys for watching my review. If you like this video, make sure and give it a thumbs up. And before you go, please tell me what you thought about this week's chapter. What did you think of the battles between Zero Division and the Quincy? And what do you want to see from the future of the final arc of Bleach? Remember, guys, if you have not subscribed to our channel, please go ahead and do so. You can do that by clicking on our channel icon right up here in the top corner. You can also follow us on Facebook and on Twitter.